Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Akakwadash, double honors to the apostles, the elders, of great millstone. Shalom, salutations to the hopeful elect that's fighting a good fight of faith and truth, sincerity. And just want to read these 9 scriptures. Feel like it'd be edifying, because sometimes you have to be in a mindset of you're totally separated from the world. And once you realize that, this walk will be easier. Because even though you in this defiled flesh, and this flesh is synonymous with the world, all the lust of the world, you know, you got to understand that when you make a stance for something, and even when you in the world, if you make a stance for something, you usually be successful. You know, if you wanted to be like the best basketball player or the top scientist, you have to make sacrifices to be that. So how much more when it comes to this truth? So when you make a sacrifice and you stand in 10 toes down for your sacrifice, you're going to be successful. And within doing that, you have to sacrifice and you have to let go a lot of things to become, the best you can be. So it say, blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs are the kingdom of heaven. And blessed are the poor in spirit. That's the hopeful elect, because we don't have no hope in this world. Our only hope is that this word is true. Our only hope is that lies with Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai. We're helpless. We're powerless in this world because, number one, our enemy, this is his kingdom. And for you to get any type of, goodies in this kingdom, you have to sell your soul. You got to do abominations. You have to do things that your enemy wants you to do for you can retain his riches. Because at the end of the day, this is his money. It ain't even real money. It's a piece of paper that he got the power to call it currency. So when you look at them dollars and you see ugly Edomite face on it, that's what you're, chasing the bag for. And guess what? He that own the money, you're going to have to do whatever he says for you to get that money. All right. So we're hopeless. We're powerless. We're the poor in spirit. James 2 and 5 said, blessed are the poor, for theirs are the kingdom of heaven. All right. So for a lot of people who think that, money is the end all be all, you're sadly mistaken. The Lord ain't even dealing with rich men. Now, the Lord can do whatever he wants. Can it be a rich man that enter to the kingdom of heaven? I mean, the parable. He told the rich man to go sell all his things to the poor and come follow me. And guess what he did? He didn't do it. So there ain't no rich man going to be in the kingdom. All right? Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. All the sighing and crying that we do, it's not in vain. Sometimes you go out there, preach till your face turn blue, come back home to bullshit. After you, magnify Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai's name, and then after you done, you back to reality. Because from that little point, for that little time that you out there, preaching, you escape reality for a moment. You're doing something that you love, But remember that the Lord is not unrighteous to forget your labor of love. So you got to always know that, because the scriptures say, surely oppression makes a wise man mad. So that's what you call mourning. We're complaining. Ezekiel 9 and 4 said, mark them who sigh and cry for the abominations thereof. This is abomination for us to even be a homeborn slave, for the wicked to be actually in king seats, heathens over us. This is an abomination overall. 5. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. And one thing I will say, when you come across, we got the top knowledge on the earth. So, do you understand what type of spirit that you got to have? That's why all blessings come from above. Because when you lived your life and you never really was nothing, see, who cares about you getting some pussy? That's something that you should be doing. Okay? So, but when you in the world, it's not hard to get no damn pussy. Who cares if you used to get a couple girls? Okay? You still ain't shit. You still have to go to work to pay these bills. You cannot just not work. All right? You got people in the world who do not work. Them are the ones that are blessed in this world. That's the life that we're trying to enter into. All right? I don't give a damn if you was a drug dealer before you came into the truth. You had to risk your life and freedom just to make some money. That's not blessed. Okay? So going back to the top knowledge on earth that we have, do you understand what type of spirit you got to have? And that got to come from on high, because you could get puffed up. As the scripture said, knowledge puffeth up. All right? You get proud in this thing. But the Lord said, blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth, man. Humility go a long way, but this world teach the opposite of that. To be prideful, to be boastful. Our music is the most prideful, boastful shit that you will hear on this planet. All right? So that's the vibration of this place. And the one thing that I realize is that the world literally is the total opposite of the scriptures. Like, whatever the world do the opposite, you'll be good. Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. So when you're diligently seeking the Lord, as the scriptures say, he will reward you. So when you're doing all this, toiling, reading, study, praying, preaching, it's going to reap dividends at the end. You're going to get paid at the end. That's why I said, blessed are, I know thy tribulation and poverty and tribulation, but thou art rich. Why are we rich? Because we got the kingdom of heaven to look forward to. See, these nations don't have the kingdom of heaven to look forward to. They living in a kingdom, and guess what? This kingdom is not all that. I always said this too. If I was to be so-called blessed in this kingdom, look at the women that I have, that I have the access to. No virgins, defiled women, women who are not in their right mind, women, don't matter how much money you have, she's still gonna look at the next man. You eating GMOs, breathing in chemtrails, all right? And you don't have no slaves. You still are under your oppressor, all right? You don't have no power. That's that. If you were so-called blessed in this world, you got a whole bunch of money. Them the same things that you are subjected to. All right. And when you thirst after righteousness, when you hungry for that righteousness, man, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is going to fight for you to the end. All right. He said, strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee, man. Because he's not going to fight for you if you don't fight for him. If you ain't thirsty and hungry for this truth and you faking it, the Lord going to sift you out. Blessed, blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Because the scripture talks about, forgive men of their trespasses, for the Lord would forgive you of your trespasses. And if you forgive not men of their trespasses, the Father won't forgive you of your trespasses. That's what you call being merciful. You got to have a forgiving soul in this truth, man, because you're going to have a lot of things that offend you. You're going to be offended. You're going to suffer wrongly sometimes. But you have to forgive those men because guess what? You want to be forgiven for the trespasses that you have did. And guess what? It's balanced with that. All right. You know, because the scripture talks about trust not every brother, for they will utterly supplant. All right. So you got to understand that it's a balance with everything. Yeah, you forgive, but you can't be a dummy either. All right. If a person do some fucked up shit to you and he continue to do fucked up shit, then guess what? You're going to have to be circumspect, and then you got to keep an eye on him, brother. You still forgive him, but you keep your eye on him. You don't let him get you the same way again. All right? Blessed are the poor in heart, for they shall see the Most High. And that's what you call by walking in his truth and truth and sincerity. As the scripture said, he that worship should worship in spirit and in truth. All right? Having no guile in your spirit. Not when you really in this truth, you in it for the right reasons. And you got a lot of men out here who's trying to be in this truth for vainglory, getting praises of men. Your whole reasoning is first of all for salvation, but if you're gonna do it, you do it to please Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. You don't do it for no other reason. All right. It's sadly that people take this truth and try to be somebody. You're fighting to be somebody. All right. That's the end goal. All right. And so blessed are the poor in heart, for they shall see the Most High. All right. When there's no guile in your spirit and you're really in this for the right reasons, you in this to edify brethren. You in this to try to get right, before the marriage, to be delivered. So it say, blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of the Most High. Being a peacemaker is a beautiful thing. You got some people who are drama. Majority of people like drama. But when you come into this truth, you're supposed to become a new creature. All right? And you should be all about peace, especially in the brotherhood. That's what this is talking about. This is talking about the brotherhood, but the believers. All right? And even if you come across, people who don't believe, you're still supposed to, not be a wrathful-man. You're supposed to be a man of understanding. You're supposed to be a man who tried to keep the peace. Because the scripture said to be as wise as serpents and gentle as doves. All right? And then the scriptures say that, wisdom is the principal thing, but in all thy getting, get understanding. Because you can know the scriptures, but if you don't know how to apply them, then you don't have no understanding. So scriptures talks about how a soft word turneth away wrath, but a grievous words maketh wrath. So that's what it's called about being peace. You don't have to show how tough you are. This is not a tough guy thing. This is for the meek and the peaceful, and they the ones that's going to inherit the earth and see the Most High and be called the children of the Most High. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of the Most High. Now we getting into it now, because sometimes, the things that the men of the Lord go through, you think that you're going through it for no reason. This is part of the truth. The scriptures say in Ephesians 3:13 that tribulation is your glory. So you have to go through something. You have to enter into these straight and vain things to receive the kingdom. Galatians 6:9 talks about, if we faint not, we shall reap. So you're going to be persecuted. All right. You're going to go through things. People are going to hate you. The scriptures talks about love not the world, for the love of the world is enmity against the Most High, and it's not of the Father. So when you separate yourself, people ain't going to like you. But guess what? What does it say? Blessed are they which persecute for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are ye when men shall revile you. Another word for hate. and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Because you got to realize false accusations is about to come on a whole nother level. When they start making compilations of the Hebrew Israelites and trying to group us all in one, because you got some Israelites who are out here, are Salaki, that are agents, and they do off the wall shit, and they're gonna group us all in it. All right, and they're gonna make us enemy number one. But we're blessed because for Yahweh's sake, Yahweh suffered wrongly. We gotta suffer wrongly. The scripture talks about how you're not greater than your master. All right. So you got to go through something, and you got to gird up your mind right now. This is the time, because you can't just snap into it like a Slim Jim when all hell start breaking loose. You got to get your mind ready right now. Rejoice and be exceeding glad, for great is your reward. Because that's what it's all about. All the things that I just read through about being persecuted, by being humble, all right? Those are the ones that's going to be blessed. You're going to get a reward at the end. Great is your reward in heaven, for so persecuted they the prophets which were before them, which was before you. So it's nothing new under the sun. And the scripture talks about how the spirit of the prophets is subjected to the prophets. So guess what? If you were a prophet of the Lord, you was a prophet back then, and you went through it back then, you're going to have to go through it again. And since you've been through it before, that should give you confidence that, hey, it is what it is. This is the last time that we got to go through something. So always keep that in mind, that you're blessed when you go through stuff. You're blessed when you play the humble route. And at the end of the day, what it takes, faith. All right? So hopefully this video was edifying, and shalom.